there was some rumors about T.O., Haney, Garcia all fighting at welterweight, and the fourth name was Jerome Boots Ennis. But it
Yeah.
looks like those guys are going to settle business at 140, and it looks like Jerome Boots Ennis is going to lace it up against Imantis Stanionis. I think it's supposed to be in a couple months or something. I saw a date. I don't know how true the date is. It slips my mind right now, but I saw an alleged date.
Hmm.
So this fight has been, I don't want to say brewing for some time, but it should have, it's a fight that should have happened previously, right? So
Hmm.
if you ask me, these are probably the two best names at 147, unless you can throw out a better name to me that I'm not thinking of right now. So based on what we've been seeing in Jerome Boots and his past performances, how much he's been getting touched, looking a bit rusty, and we know the kind of fighter Imantis Stanionis is, right? He's coming for you. He's coming forward. He's going to throw a lot of punches. He hits hard. What do you see this in this fight? How do you see this fight going? Just a quick synopsis.
I, to give you a quick synopsis, I think Boots wins, and I think he wins clearly. I do see the fight kind of going in a direction where Stanios is going to have some great rounds, of course, win a couple rounds, several rounds, but I think ultimately Boots is going to do enough to kind of just win the fight, right? Because he's a more dynamic fighter. He's more versatile. I am curious to see who's the bigger puncher between the two. I
Mhm.
believe Boots is, but in that fight going against each other, will Boots adopt an approach, and not necessarily adopt, but take on the same approach that he took against Villa, right? Like box in the back for wait to see shots, like actually respect it to the point where you allow Stanios to open himself up and then fight, as opposed to not give him some respect compared to his last couple
Mhm.
fights. I feel like his
Yeah.
last couple fights he didn't necessarily respect his opponents. That's why he got hit more, which does happen. I feel like if he respects Stanionis to a degree, we can see kind of a similar event to the Roman Villa fight, but not to that extent, because I do believe Stanionis is much better than Villa.
Yeah. So two things. Stanionis is not coming with a lot of head movement,
Right.
but you ask who's the bigger puncher. I think they're different kind of punchers, right? Boots Ennis is a lot more of a velocity, more so of haymakers. He's he's gonna wind up and put something on that punch. Where Stanionis is more so everything's kind of just thudding.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of just hard thudding. It might not look like it, but everything's kind of just thudding. Now, when you think about David Avanesian versus Boots Ennis, Boots got hit more than you're probably comfortable with seeing him get hit. Then you talk about Karen Shukujan part two. Boots got hit more than you're probably comfortable seeing him get hit. So now the question is left to be asked. You know, are these just because he doesn't respect his opponent, as you mentioned, or is this an actual trend and there's some actual flaws in Boots' game? Maybe these two fighters are actually just a level up from Roman Villa. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot of questions that we want to see get answered in this fight. And if it is that those fighters were just a level up and Boots has some holes in his game, I think it's going to be a long night because Stanionis is going to come after you. I would not pick Stanionis to win the fight, but the thing is, if Boots keeps getting hit clean the way he got hit in those two fights, bro, unless he just has the chin of a, I don't know,
Canelo.
bro,
Mhm.
like a George Foreman or something, bro. Like eventually someone's gonna put him down because he's getting hit too cleanly. You know what I'm saying? And Stanionis has some pop, so that'll be pretty interesting. But I just think Stanionis doesn't have enough head movement or foot movement to beat a Jerome Boots Ennis. But it'll be interesting to see what Bozy is telling him in that fight. You can't just tell him like, "Yo, what are you doing? Go stop this guy," because this is a
Yeah,
tough
I
guy
don't think
coming after you.
Bosey's gonna say that. That's the difference. Because you see, even in the ring, the fact that Bosey told him go stop this guy shows a lack of respect. I don't think
Hmm.
they'll do that with Stanionis. I think they'll be like, yo, they'll stick to a game plan. This is what we do. Take your time. Unless Stanionis is significantly faster than Roman Villa, I just don't see how, I don't think Boots is gonna allow himself to take punishment from Stanionis, because that can
Yeah.
be another thing too. Maybe the last two opponents Boots fought, right? If it's not the lack of respect, maybe like in terms of what, to your point, right? When we're talking about step up, maybe it's just physically they're just faster, right? Their punching speed is just significantly faster,
Hmm.
which is a big factor in fights, right? Like when you're boxing, someone's just significantly faster, and it takes time for your eyes to adjust throughout the fight. And sometimes it can just they can land clean, and you like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen, right? Or they just have great timing, right? But we'll have to wait and see.
But when you talk about physicality, there's one thing that comes to mind as well, making it an ugly fight, right? Like you can't get all that stuff off because I'm grabbing you and then I'm first to the action after I clinch you. You know what I'm saying? So can you make an ugly fight, make it a little uncomfortable, push him around a little bit? I don't know who's physically stronger, but I know Stanionis is a strong guy. You know what I mean? So can you make it an ugly fight, a physical fight, not dirty, just ugly?
Yeah.
And make Boots uncomfortable. He can't really get those slick shots off. He can't really get that rhythm. I can see Stanionis doing that, and I can see it being a tough fight. Like I said, I'm picking Boots Ennis just because the things that Stanionis lack, I think, will help Boots win a decision fight. But I think that's a good fight. I'm not gonna say it's the best fight that can be made at 47, but for Boots, I think this is the toughest opponent at 47 for him.
100%. 100%. What would you
Now,
say is the best fight at 147 if you had to choose?
uh, I don't know. It'll be something not involving Boots, right? It'll be two guys that are probably closer. Like think about when Stanionis fought Bootev. That was a hell of a fight, bro. But those were not the two biggest names at 147. In fact, that fight was better than when the two biggest names at 47 fought. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's tricky
Okay, so
because
so so best fight, like in terms of like performances from two sides. Got it. Got it.
yeah. So
Okay,
it could be real tricky. But
gotcha.
I don't know. It could be, like a Stanionis, Barrios. Who knows, man? I don't really know. It's just so crazy how this glamour division seems so depleted right now. I really
Yeah,
can't. I really can't think of it. But I want to see Stanionis fight Boots. If Boots acquires a second title, I'm really interested to see if he's going to continue chasing title or will he move up to 54? Because it's taken him a long time. I don't really want to say a long time. He really just got his belt. You think about a long time. I think about Errol Spence trying to acquire the belts. That was a long time. So
yeah,
Boots, it really hasn't even been a long time for Boots. So we'll see how 47 plays out. I don't know those guys at 40, if those guys at 40 are as special as people say, maybe they come up to 47 and wreck some stuff. They came from 35 and wreck stuff, and I was like, they're gonna have some troubles at 40, but maybe they're just that special. They go up to 47 and shake everything up as well.
yeah. Probably.